Hi there. I'd like to talk briefly about some writing strategies that you can use across the subjects. Throughout this presentation, we've discussed some of the skills that can be used from reading and writing instruction across the curriculum and other subjects. We've mostly talked about reading skills, which include things like graphic organizers, reviewing the textual elements, looking for main ideas, and some other strategies and skills that we teach in reading. As we focus our attention on writing, I wanted to give you just a few brief examples of ways we can use our writing skills and get the kids writing in class, get the students writing in all the classes. And we know that by writing, we're forcing their minds to think a little deeper, to give an impression of what they have understood, to be able to write that down and communicate that in words. And we actually put into practice the idea of not just learning to write, but writing to learn. And so one of the reasons behind this primarily is the great need for better reading and writing skills for our students, not just to meet the standards, but as they go forward in life. The object is that when they're faced with a complex text or something that's unfamiliar to them, that they know how to approach it, that they have some tools in their toolbox to break it down, and that they're able to think about it and engage with it in a way that makes sense to them. So one of the ways that we can improve is, of course, through our English and language arts classes, giving those opportunities, many opportunities for writing and expressing, giving fun prompts, and giving appealing books and appealing reading material for the students that fits their interest. So I have some other ideas, and it does involve a little bit of creativity, but there's also a wealth of information and resources out there on the internet for us as teachers to use to give these writing prompts across the curriculum. And they don't have to be long, just consistent and regular, so that, again, many opportunities are given for the students to make reading and writing, especially reading and writing new material, part of their lifelong skill set. So the first example I have is a writing and social studies or geography lesson. So I'm going to put this right here. I hope you can see it. It's not backwards, but what I've done here is just a sample student paper where they would have drawn the outline of the state of Virginia. They labeled some cities, but I let them label and spell out and write cities that they like. So again, we're starting a sentence here, cities I like, and then they've listed a few here, Richmond, whatever. And over here, I just made a title, a category called cool things. And in that, I would have let students write out some things that they like about Virginia, and some things I have here like presidents, history, King's Dominion, the water park, whatever it is that they want to add in there, but also to include, what they've learned from reading through the text that they have, put some words in there that go along with the text, technology, capital, the naval base. Again, let it be personal, but also let it be informational. And then at the bottom, I like blank because, and this is again an opportunity for them to write just one or two sentences. It doesn't have to be anything overwhelming, but it gives them a chance to personalize the information, to engage with it, to make it their own, and give them the space to communicate that. So that's one example. A science example. So this is based on a study of the planets. Again, this is just something I came up with as an example. Incorporating drawing a lot with writing is something that appeals to younger kids, appeals to teachers a lot too. But again, we've drawn the first four planets. gives a sentence starter rather than just labeling or listing vocabulary. We started a sentence that begins with Mercury and let the student finish the sentence with some characteristic of the planet. In this case, Mercury has no moons. It is the smallest planet. And the same with the others. Again, this could be in the form of a journal. It could be in the form of notes. It could be part of the lesson. It's just a way to integrate not just listing words, but sentences, communicating what they understand, knowing what they understand. All right. This one is an example in a PE class. So you could do this. This is with, I did this one with exercise. You could also do it with a nutrition chart, health of the body, but just, my exercise journal, what I did, and then giving those prompts for writing, like I felt or I feel, whatever it is at the end of the week or at the end of the day. My goal is whatever it would be, because great ways to start the thinking process, let them think and record what's happening. That could be in the form of a journal. It could be short or long term, but there are ways to incorporate writing, and really it's more about incorporating thinking and just writing it down, because you have to think to be able to write. All right, my math journal. This is another example. This I thought was really good. I got this from ThoughtCo, How to Use Math Journals in Class, a little article written by Deb Russell. And I thought it was a great idea. Not a notebook of math problems, but a notebook that would be done at the end of a teaching of a new concept. So not necessarily daily, just as a new concept is introduced at the end of the class, 5 to 7 minutes. They're keeping a journal of their thoughts about the math. So she had a list of really great prompts. I used a few here to show you. Division. It says, I knew I was right when. That's the prompt. And then there's a space. In this case, I used, he knew he was right when he did the division problems and multiplied and got the right answer. And then another prompt here, the thing you have to remember is, so if they were introducing a new topic, for example, order of operations, you could say the thing I have to remember is, and then put in the order of operations right there in a sentence form. But some of the other prompts on there were, let's see, I had a difficult time with fill in the blank. I found it easy or hard to do blank, and let them fill it in. But it's they have to know what they've done in order, they have to think about what they've done in order to write it in the book. And again, it's after each concept, and just 5 to 7 minutes throughout the day. So I thought that was a great example of how to use it across the curriculum. So those are ways to use the skills that you've learned. But again, in teaching the skills to begin with, we want to always have appealing books, appealing material for our students to choose from. We want to make writing less intimidating, less scary, using quick writes where you give them a block of time and maybe a picture to look at, and they write about that picture, and doing it along with them and giving them a think aloud, or illustrating a think aloud while you do your own editing and revision of what you've written, and they would do the same. Writing a humorous poem. Another great idea for science that I didn't demonstrate here, but the one that I saw, I believe it was in the Georgia Standards seminar on writing across the curriculum. They were studying stars, and they did a star shape, and they wrote what they learned, or whatever the impression was about the stars and about the lesson around the star in the star shape. I also saw Alpha Beasties, where they used letters, they used words about particular animals or organisms, and used those words to make a shape. And I think they did that with a software program. I'm not sure, but it was, again, some really creative ideas out there. And with technology, the the options are even greater. So I hope you've enjoyed these few examples, and I hope that you will tap into your own creative juices as you think of ways to introduce reading and writing across the curriculum. Do not make it an extra burden, but just creatively find ways to accomplish two things or more with some creativity and some planning. Thank you. Bye.